Batman Universe issue 1. This is the Brian Michael Bendis. This is the reprint of the Walmart. We did Tom King's Superman's first issue last week. This is the Bendis Batman one. So I was curious to see how this would play out. What is Bendis' Batman story? I'd forgotten when I started reading it, but when I had it, I did remember. Oh, that's right. Jenny Hex was actually first appeared in this. There's some Jenny Hex stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's why I wanted to read this
in the second half.
That's suddenly going. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Batman's on his way. There's some Alfred's talking over the comms about how he's meant to be at a dinner party, and it's classic Batman Alfred, banter, back and forth with Alfred being sassy. But he's on his way because the Riddler left a riddle that was kind of posted publicly. What is the Riddler when he's not the Riddler, or something to that effect? And Batman gets to this location, and there's like dozens and dozens of Riddlers, and we find out later that it's basically a bunch of stuntmen. That's been hired to be dressed as various versions of the Riddler. Some people are dressed like Jim Carrey from the movies. Some people have got the classic hat.
God damn it! Why do I gotta read this now?
Yeah, tons of Riddlers. And he finds the real Riddler in the mix, and he chases after him. But Riddler seems pretty scared. And there's a big bright light, and Batman gets knocked out. So someone has saved Riddler. But Riddler does seem scared. It seems like whatever job Riddler's pulling was not his own idea. He's trying to steal this fancy Fabergé egg that's like worth $15 million.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah. And Batman, obviously, they question a bunch of Riddlers and whatnot, and they're all just hired. They don't know what's going on. And it turns out the egg belonged to originally Jonah Hex. So Batman goes out of town to where Ginny stays and goes, okay, so you basically donated this to the museum, you didn't try and sell it. And she's actually, her attitude's sort of still there, because she's like, well, you tell me it's worth $15 million, but do you know anyone who's willing to pay that? And if no one's willing to pay it, is it really worth that?
Mm-hmm.
Actually quite a good smart point, to be honest. I mean, but yeah, so it establishes that, she knows who her great-great-grandfather is, and Batman's like asking, has anyone been around? In fact, Joe, there's a really nice moment here where Batman, before he meets Jenny, he meets like the old lady who's sitting out front of the garage where she's working on the car, and the old woman said, because he asks, there's some funny stuff here where she's like, oh, did you get lost? The Joker's not been through here, and he, she says, if anyone's been through here, like, they have to go by me. And Batman kind of turns his head. Before he says what he's going to say to her, he just kind of mutters to himself, I love small towns. And it felt very Batman the Animated Series. Like, I could hear Kevin Conroy's voice say that line.
Right.
It's got that just little bit of dry wit that his Batman had. And, yeah, so he has this conversation with Jenny. Jenny, after he leaves, phones her friend. Because she actually pocket texted her friend as soon as she saw Batman. Which he may never have noticed. But she goes and looks at an old photo of Jonah, and Riddler is in Amsterdam, hiding out with some criminals, but Batman, of course, shows up, because he's Batman, and, obviously, no one's, free of Batman, but the criminals with Riddler, who's just kind of scared, have hired Deathstroke, and Deathstroke actually appears right behind them, and I like his line here. He says, I got up real close this time. That'll haunt you. So a nice little bit of Deathstroke.
He's not wrong.
Dick waving there. So they have a bit of a fight scene. And Riddler gets hit at one point. He's crawling along the floor to his box. And that's when we get the cliffhanger that before the box is open, Green Arrow appears and actually shoots Deathstroke. And there you go. That was the first issue of Batman Universe. So Green Arrow's in the mix now. Says next month something is wrong with Riddler and Batman is in darker waters than he even knows. So there's a mystery as to what this egg is, who the hell wants it, who Riddler's working for, and whatever else. But the banter's strong. The art is the art didn't jump out at me immediately, but the more I read it, the more I really started to like it. It has a really sort of simple style. It kind of goes with that anime. It doesn't look like Batman animated series, but it kind of goes with the attitude that the character has, and comparing it to that show. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I kind of want to keep reading it. much like the Tom King Superman one. So I guess I'm reading 2 of these now.
There you go.
So there you go. If I'm rating that, I'd probably give it a solid 8. Bendis' first Batman story feels like a very sort of classic Batman detective-y story.